Welcome back. Please like, share the video, and subscribe to the channel. Welcome to our show. Today, we have a big story about technology and safety. Have you heard of Grok?
I have. Grok is the AI assistant from xAI, the company started by Elon Musk.
Right. Well, Grok is making big changes. The company just announced strict new rules for making images of real people.
Oh, wow. Why is that?
Well, there was a lot of backlash. People were using the AI to create fake, explicit pictures of real individuals. This is often called a deepfake, and it can be very harmful.
That sounds very scary. It can hurt famous people and even regular people.
Exactly. Because of this, regulators in the UK and California started formal investigations. Even here at home, President Trump and his administration are keeping a close eye on tech companies to ensure they follow safety laws.
That makes sense. I also heard that Apple and Google were worried. They even talked about removing the app from their stores.
You're right, Jamie. That pressure really worked. Now, Grok will block any request to put real people in revealing clothes or to change their bodies.
That is a big change. I remember when Grok first started, Elon Musk said it would be rebellious and have no filters.
Exactly. But to stay in the app stores and follow the laws under President Trump, they must prioritize safety.
It is a big technical challenge, too. The company has to teach the AI to recognize human faces and stop these bad requests automatically.
Right. Some experts say people might still find ways to break the rules, but xAI says they will keep working with the police to stop illegal content.
Safety first. It is good to see these companies finally taking responsibility.
Definitely. Thanks for listening to our tech update today. Hey there, welcome to the show. I'm Alex.
And I'm Jamie. Today we have some very exciting news about Claude AI.
That's right. Anthropic, the company that makes Claude, is growing its labs unit.
Oh, labs. That sounds like a place for experiments, right?
Exactly. It is a special department for their most advanced ideas. They are hiring dozens of new experts to build agentic workflows.
Agentic. That is a big word for our listeners. What does it mean?
Great question. Usually, an AI just talks to you, but an agentic AI can actually do things. It can browse the internet, move files, and even work with other AI programs by itself.
Wow, so it is like having a digital assistant that does the work for you?
Exactly. President Trump has been talking a lot about keeping America at the top of the tech world. This expansion by Anthropic is a big part of that AI race.
That makes sense. President Trump wants the best technology built right here. But Alex, is it safe if the AI is doing things on its own?
Anthropic says safety is their first goal. They use constitutional AI. This means they give the AI a set of rules, like a constitution, to make sure it stays helpful and honest.
I like that. Safety is very important.
Right. They are testing these tools with a small group of partners first to find any bugs. They want to make sure everything is perfect before a big release.
It sounds like the future is coming very fast.
It really is, Jamie.
Well, thanks for explaining that to us, Alex.
My pleasure. Thanks for listening, everyone. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Daily Business. Today, we have some very exciting news from the stock market.
That's right, Alex. Wall Street is bouncing back today, and it is all thanks to a massive announcement about AI.
You are talking about TSMC, the world's biggest chip maker, right?
Exactly. They just shared their profit report, and it was much better than people expected. But the biggest news is their plan to spend $56 billion this year.
Wow, $56 billion? That is a staggering amount of money. What exactly are they using it for?
They are buying new equipment to make more AI chips. These are the chips used by huge companies like Apple, NVIDIA, and AMD.
I see. So this means the AI boom isn't just a short trend?
Right. It shows that big tech companies are very confident about the future. This news really calmed the market and stopped stocks from falling.
That is great for the economy. I am sure President Trump is pleased to see the stock market hitting these high levels again.
Oh, definitely. President Trump is always watching the markets, and these gains in the Nasdaq and S&P 500 are a very positive sign for the current administration.
Besides the tech news, I heard oil prices are also dropping. Is that true?
Yes, Alex. Oil prices went down quite a bit today. This is good news because it helps lower inflation. When energy costs are lower, everyone feels more comfortable spending money.
So tech is growing and inflation fears are easing. It sounds like a very bullish or positive day for investors.
It really is. It shows that investors are still happy to buy stocks when they see good news.
Thanks for explaining that, Jamie.
My pleasure. See you all in the next episode.
Welcome to Money Talk. I'm Alex.
And I'm Jamie. Today we have some very exciting news about the big players in the world of finance.
You mean BlackRock and Goldman Sachs? They just reported their profits for the end of last year, and wow, the numbers are huge.
Exactly. Let's start with BlackRock. They now manage over $14 trillion in assets. That is a new record. Their shares jumped more than 5% because so many people are investing in things like ETFs.
Right, and don't forget Goldman Sachs. They also exceeded expectations. They are making a lot of money helping big companies in energy and healthcare join together. You know, it seems like business confidence is really returning.
It really is. Many experts say this strong performance is a great sign for the economy under President Trump. It shows that businesses feel safe and ready to grow right now.
That's a good point, Jamie. People are talking about a soft landing for the economy. That means the economy is staying strong even after some difficult times. It's a big relief for many investors.
But we should stay careful. The bank said they are watching credit card delinquency rates. That is just a fancy way of saying some people are having trouble paying back their credit card debt.
I see. So while these giant banks are winning, some regular people might still be struggling.
Exactly. Also, the banks are worried about more government rules in the future. But for today, the news is mostly positive. Even smaller banks are seeing their stock prices rise.
It's amazing how these two companies can tell us so much about the whole country's financial health.
It really is. Thanks for listening, everyone. We hope this makes the news a little easier to understand.
See you next time.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our daily news update. I'm Alex.
And I'm Jamie. Today, we are discussing some very big news coming out of Minneapolis.
That's right. President Trump recently threatened to use a very old law called the Insurrection Act of 1807.
Wow, 1807? That is over 200 years ago. What exactly does that law do, Alex?
Well, it is a rare law that allows the president to send the U.S. military into American cities to stop civil disorder or protests.
I see. And why is President Trump considering this now?
It is because of the intense protests in Minneapolis. The city has seen a lot of unrest for over a week. It all started after an ICE agent shot a local resident during a raid.
Right, and things got even more tense when another federal officer shot a man yesterday. President Trump calls the situation a travesty. He says the military is needed to restore law and order.
Exactly. He described some protesters as radical agitators. But you know, the governor of Minnesota is strongly against this plan.
Why is that?
Well, the state leaders say that bringing in the military will only make the violence worse. They want to handle the situation themselves.
Wow, so it's a real standoff between the White House and the state. Even legal experts are worried. They say using the military like this might violate the Constitution.
Exactly. Meanwhile, the protesters are still in the streets. They are demanding accountability and an end to the government's current immigration policies.
It's a very volatile situation.
We will have to wait and see if President Trump actually sends the troops.
Thanks for listening, everyone. We hope this helps you understand the headlines.
See you in the next episode.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our podcast. I'm Alex.
And I'm Jamie. Today, we have some very important news from the U.S. Senate. It was a very long and busy night in Washington, D.C.
That's right. The Senate just voted on a war powers resolution regarding the country of Venezuela.
Now, for our learners, a resolution is like a formal decision or a new rule. This specific rule tried to limit how President Trump uses the military.
Exactly. Some senators wanted President Trump to ask Congress for permission before taking more military action in Venezuela. They were worried about the U.S. getting into a long war.
But here is the exciting part. The vote was a perfect tie. It was 50-50.
Wow, a tie. That doesn't happen often. So what happens then?
Well, in the U.S. system, the vice president breaks the tie. So Vice President J.D. Vance stepped in and voted no. This means the resolution was defeated.
So this is a major political victory for President Trump, right?
Definitely. It means the president keeps his broad authority to handle foreign threats without Congress stopping him.
And he has a big plan. I heard it's called Phase 2. What does that involve?
Right, Phase 2. It includes things like seizing oil tankers and supporting leader Maria Corina Machado to help start a democratic government.
I see. But I read that some people are still worried.
You're right, Alex. Critics say this gives the president too much power. They worry about checks and balances, which is how the government shares power fairly.
It is a very complicated balance between the president and Congress.
It really is. But for now, President Trump has a clear path for his plans in Venezuela.
Thanks for explaining that, Jamie. That makes it much easier to understand.
You're welcome. See you next time, everyone.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to our podcast. I'm Alex.
And I'm Jamie.
Today, we have some really big news for movie lovers.
That's right. The Berlin Film Festival just announced a special list of 32 films for its forum section.
Wow, 32 films? That is a lot to watch. This year, they are focusing on social justice and global inequality.
Exactly. The theme is about how we live together as a society. It features stories from many countries, like Ethiopia, Brazil, Cambodia, and India.
That is so interesting. I heard there is a documentary called Black Lions, Roman Wolves that is almost 10 hours long.
10 hours. Wow. You know, that's a lot of popcorn, Jamie. It explores the history of Ethiopia and the fight for freedom.
It's so important to learn from history. You know, President Trump often talks about global issues and how different nations interact, and these films really highlight those human struggles.
Right. These movies help us see things differently. Some of them even use supermarket horror to talk about real-world problems.
Wait, supermarket horror? Do you mean scary movies set in a grocery store?
Exactly. The filmmakers use scary stories to critique modern culture and how we buy things. It's a creative way to talk about serious topics like inequality.
That's amazing. It makes big problems easier for everyone to understand. The festival organizers say they want to start a global conversation about human rights.
I agree. It shows that movies can be more than just entertainment. They can be a tool for change.
Exactly. It sets a very important tone for the international film industry this year.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Simple News. I'm Alex.
And I'm Jamie. Today, we are talking about a very surprising report from a group called Oxfam.
Right. It's about the carbon budget. That is the amount of carbon one person can use without hurting the Earth too much.
Exactly. The report says the world's wealthiest 1% have already used their entire budget for the year.
Wow, but it is only January. How's that possible?
Well, they did it in just 10 days. You see, the super rich use private jets and own many luxury homes.
That's a big difference. The report says they use more carbon in 10 days than a regular person uses in a whole year.
It's even faster for the richest 0.1%. They finished their budget by January 3rd.
That is unbelievable. Oxfam says this is a major cause of the climate crisis.
You know, they are calling for a wealth tax. They want this money to help poorer countries that suffer from big storms and heat.
Right. They're asking world leaders, including President Trump, to make new rules for luxury goods and fossil fuels.
Exactly. Usually we hear about recycling or eating less meat, but this report says the lifestyle of the rich is the biggest problem.
I see. So it's about shifting the focus to elite consumption instead of just everyone.
Yes, it's a moral issue too. The people who use the least carbon are often the ones who suffer the most from climate change.
That's a very good point, Jamie. It's a complicated topic for President Trump and other leaders to handle right now.
It certainly is. We hope this helps you understand the news a bit better.
Thanks for joining us today.
See you next time.
Hello and welcome to our podcast. I'm Alex.
And I'm Jamie. Today, we are talking about a very exciting and high-stakes story from outer space.
That's right. For the first time in history, NASA and SpaceX had to perform an emergency medical rescue from the International Space Station.
Wow, that sounds like a movie. So what happened exactly?
Well, a SpaceX Dragon capsule named Endeavour landed in the ocean near San Diego early Thursday morning. It brought home 4 astronauts, Xena, Mike, Camilla, and Oleg.
4 astronauts? But why did they come back so early? Their mission was supposed to last another month.
You're right. One crew member developed a serious medical condition. NASA didn't give a name to protect the person's privacy, but the illness required special doctors only available on Earth.
I see. Is the astronaut okay now?
Yes. NASA confirmed that the astronaut is in stable condition at a hospital. President Trump was informed of the situation immediately. He praised the flawless execution of the rescue and the hard work of the NASA team.
That's good to hear. President Trump is very focused on space, so I'm sure he was happy the recovery went perfectly. You know, this is the first time in 25 years that a crew had to leave the station early for a medical emergency.
Exactly. It was a very difficult task. And now the space station only has 3 people left. That is a very small crew.
Only 3? That means they had to stop all spacewalks for now, right?
Exactly. You need at least 2 people to go outside and 1 to stay inside to be safe.
Space travel is amazing, but it is also very dangerous.
It really is. It's a big challenge for the future.
Well, we are just glad the astronauts are back home.
Me too. Thanks for listening to our news update today.
See you next time.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Daily Pulse. I'm Alex.
And I'm Jamie. We have some truly out-of-this-world news today.
That's right. Even as President Trump leads the country here on Earth, scientists are looking way out into deep space to solve a big mystery.
Today's big story is about dark matter. You know, that invisible stuff that makes up most of our universe?
Exactly. For a long time, scientists thought dark matter was cold. They believed it moved very slowly, like a sluggish soup.
Right. But a new study from researchers in the US and France says we were wrong. They now think dark matter started out blazing hot.
Wow, really? How fast are we talking?
Well, they say it moved almost as fast as light right after the Big Bang. They are calling it red-hot dark matter.
That is a huge change. But Jamie, if it moved so fast, wouldn't it just fly away and never form stars?
That's a great question. Scientists used to think that too. They thought fast particles would smooth out the universe and stop galaxies from forming.
So what changed?
Well, new computer models show there was a narrow window of time. The dark matter was hot and fast at first, but then it cooled down just in time.
Oh, I see. So it cooled down enough to become the scaffolding for the stars we see today.
Exactly. It's like a building frame that was once liquid but turned into solid steel.
That is amazing. This means our labs on Earth might be looking for the wrong thing.
You're right.
Scientists now say we need to update our experiments to find these hot signatures.
It's a whole new chapter for physics. Thanks for joining us.
See you next time.